The morning sun crept through the thin curtains of a small apartment, touching the face of a young man named Ethan. He rubbed his tired eyes, sat on the edge of his bed, and stared at his phone screen, filled with social media posts, pictures of luxury cars, expensive vacations, and smiling faces. He sighed. Everyone looked so happy. Everyone except him. Ethan had a good job, a decent apartment, and even a small car, yet something inside him felt empty, like a quiet ache that no achievement could heal. He often wondered, why do I still feel incomplete? What does true happiness really mean? Ethan worked in a marketing company in the city. Every day he woke up early, dressed in formals, and joined the endless crowd rushing to their offices. He told himself he was doing well. After all, he had stability, income, and recognition. But each night when he returned home, silence greeted him. The laughter from his colleagues faded, and the city lights outside only reminded him how lonely he was inside. His life felt like a race he didn't sign up for, a race to have more, to earn more, to prove something. But no matter how far he ran, happiness always seemed one step ahead. One evening, he called his mother. "Mum," he said quietly, "I have everything I wanted, but I don't feel happy. Why does it feel so empty?" His mother chuckled softly. "Maybe, Ethan, because you're looking for happiness in things that were never meant to give it." Her words confused him. "What do you mean?" "You'll understand one day, my son," she said. "Happiness is not found. It's felt." Weeks passed, and Ethan continued his routine until one rainy evening changed everything. He was driving home when he noticed an old man standing near a bus stop, soaked in the rain, trying to protect a box of fruits from getting wet. The man looked fragile and tired. Without thinking much, Ethan parked his car, grabbed an umbrella, and ran toward him. "Here, take this," Ethan said, holding the umbrella above the old man. The man smiled weakly. "Thank you, son. You don't know how much this means to me." They stood there for a few minutes, sharing the umbrella and light conversation. The man told him that he sold fruits on the street, and that the rain had ruined most of his stock. He was worried about how he'd manage tomorrow. Ethan felt a strange pull in his heart. Without saying a word, he offered to buy all the remaining fruits. The man's eyes filled with tears. "You're an angel, young man. Thank you." When Ethan returned to his car with the fruits, he felt something unusual, a warmth spreading inside his chest. It wasn't pride or satisfaction. It was peace. For the first time in a long while, his heart felt full. That night, as he sat by his window watching the rain fall, he realized something. Happiness wasn't about having everything. It was about giving something, even small, that made someone else's day better. The next morning, Ethan decided to do something different. Instead of rushing straight to work, he stopped by a local bakery and bought a few sandwiches. On his way, he saw a homeless man sitting on the corner with a sign that read, "Just hungry." Ethan walked up, handed him a sandwich, and smiled. The man looked up and said, "Bless you, son." Those two words, "bless you," stayed with him all day. At work, while others stressed over sales targets and client emails, Ethan found himself calm, almost joyful. He realized that small acts of kindness were making him happier than his promotions ever did. Every morning, he started looking for little ways to help, smiling at strangers, listening to his co-workers, calling his family more often. The emptiness he once felt began to fade slowly. A few months later, his company announced a volunteer trip to a small village that needed help, rebuilding a local school. Ethan signed up without hesitation. When he arrived, he was surrounded by laughter, children running barefoot, playing with sticks and stones, their clothes torn, but their smiles wide. One girl named Lila caught his attention. She offered him a small handmade bracelet. "For you, sir," she said shyly. Ethan smiled. "Thank you, Lila. It's beautiful." She nodded and said, "You helped fix our school. Now we can learn again. That makes me happy." Her words hit him harder than anything else ever had. That night, as he sat under the open sky of the village, stars twinkling above, he thought deeply. "These children have so little," he thought, "yet they smile more than anyone I know in the city." And then it dawned on him. True happiness isn't built from what you own. It's built from what you feel, what you share, and how you see life. When Ethan returned to the city, everything looked the same. The tall buildings, the busy streets, the noise. But he wasn't the same anymore. He no longer scrolled through social media, comparing his life to others. He stopped chasing happiness in expensive restaurants or weekend shopping. Instead, he started writing. Every night he'd write stories about kindness, gratitude, and lessons learned from ordinary people. He called his blog The Inner Smile. Within months, people began reading and sharing his posts. Messages poured in from strangers thanking him for his words, telling him how his stories made them smile during dark days. Ethan realized something even deeper. Happiness grows when you help others find it too. One day, while walking in the park, he saw a little boy playing with a paper boat near a puddle. The boy looked up and said, "Mister, look, my boat can float." Ethan laughed. "That's amazing. You made it yourself." "Yes, it doesn't even need a big river," the boy replied proudly. That moment made Ethan think, maybe happiness is like that paper boat. You don't need an ocean to make it float. You just need a puddle, a small reason, a simple joy. As years passed, Ethan's life became more peaceful. He still worked, but his work no longer defined his worth. He learned to find happiness in everyday moments. Morning coffee with quiet music, talking to his parents, helping a stranger, watching the sunset from his balcony, laughing with friends without pretending to be someone else. He stopped searching for happiness in the future and started living it in the present. One evening, his mother called again. "Ethan," she said gently, "you sound different these days. Happier." He smiled. "I think I finally understand what you meant, Mum. Happiness isn't something to find. It's something to live." She laughed softly. "Took you long enough, my son." Ethan looked out his window, watching children play in the street below. He whispered to himself, "True happiness means peace inside your heart, not perfection outside your life." So, what does true happiness mean to you? For Ethan, it wasn't money, fame, or luxury. It was the peace that comes when you do good without expecting anything back. Appreciate what you already have. Love people more than possessions. Smile through small moments. Happiness is not a destination. It's a way of walking through life. It's found in gratitude, in connection, in the quiet moments that remind you how beautiful it is to simply be alive. So, maybe happiness isn't about getting everything you want. Maybe it's about loving everything you have. And when you finally realize that, you'll stop chasing happiness because you'll already be living it. True happiness is not when everything is perfect. It's when you learn to see perfection in everything you already have.